known Dave and Liz Gibson almost my whole life. And I was on church staff where Dave and Liz went to church and was the children's pastor there when Dave told me about this vision that he and Liz had for this camp and to birth this. So, of course, being a children's pastor in this area and knowing there was nothing like this around, I was thrilled from that perspective. At the time, my kids were still they were too young to come, so they were really little. And honestly, I don't even know that was on my radar at the time. So fast forward to a few summers ago when my kids were old enough to come to Deer Run, and we signed up for day camp, and they loved it. In fact, the first summer they came, it was a really tough year in our life. It was a year when I had gone through a really hard divorce, and my commitment for the summer was that my kids just had fun. I needed them to go play outside and get fresh air and run, and we signed up for day camp, and at the end of the week they had so much fun, and they came home and said, "Can we please go another week?" And I knew the next week was the very last week, and I actually called out here and I said, my kids want to come so bad, and I can't afford to send them, but is there anything I could do? And they were so gracious to offer us scholarships to let them come, and it just made my kids' whole summer. This place right then and there became a huge place of healing for them. And I don't think if you asked them that they would be aware that's what it was. Pierce is my middle son. He's been in a very awkward stage of life. He's 5th grade and about to go into middle school, but Pierce just really, really wants to be liked. And if you believe in him, he will give you 110%. And for him, when we walked out here that first day, he found out he was with Squirt and Frozone, whatever that means. Love those names. And those two guys made the biggest impact on his life. They were just game changers. They loved on him, ADHD and all. And almost, I would dare say, loved him because of that, not in spite of that. They were amazing. Then my younger son, he's quieter. He's just he flies under the radar. He loves to have a good time, but he's not going to express it outwardly nearly as much as his brother. For him, he came and did his thing. Every day brought home a new rock and stick. We have a collection in the garage. So about a week or two later, we're at home just sitting around visiting, and he says, my counselor, did I tell you that my counselor told us how we could pray and make Jesus our best friend forever? And I said, no, I don't think you did. And that's something we talk about at home all the time. So that seed had been planted. We talk about that at our church. We talk about that in our home. But something about his counselor here at Deer Run, just being in this environment, this surrounding that's so kid-friendly, it just spoke to him. He said to me, when he told us what we could pray, I prayed that prayer. Yeah, I prayed to become a Christian at Deer Run. And I said, you did, buddy? He said, yeah, I was just waiting to tell you. We stopped right there and then, and we prayed together and talked about what that meant, and he fully understood it. He could tell me everything that his counselor had told him, everything that he prayed. I mean, it was truly embedded in his heart. And in fact, when I saw David and told him, David said, we didn't know about that. And I said, I know, because he's such a quiet kid. He didn't even want to tell his counselor. That's just his personality. And yet he knew that from what he had learned, he knew that he needed to tell. He needed to tell. It just took him in his own time to tell. So So Deer Run means a lot to us. We are very, very grateful for it in our home. And I'm excited to see what happens in their life as they continue. I hope they grow up and work here someday. I hope they grow up and are a squirt in Frozone someday.